Hello everyone, welcome to Radiant IAS. I am Bhavna Kapoor. Today's topic is militarizing Andaman and Nicobar Islands, wherein I'll be discussing about the context of the topic, significance of Andaman and Nicobar Islands, need for militarization, opportunities involved and challenges involved along with a way forward. So let's begin. The Galwan Valley face-off with China has rendered many Indian security experts mooted the idea of balancing China in the maritime domain. In this context, strengthening military presence in the Andaman and Nicobar Islands remains very critical for India. The idea of militarizing the Andaman and Nicobar Islands is not new. Since the 1980s, Indian defense experts have advocated building strong strategic infrastructure at the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. However, the strategic development of the ANI is not a straightforward choice for India's defense and foreign policy establishments. Therefore, India must conduct a cost benefit analysis before going for militarization of ANI. What is the significance of Andaman and Nicobar Islands? The Andaman and Nicobar Islands are located at the juncture of Bay of Bengal and the Andaman Sea. It is a group of 572 islands which straddle some of the busiest trade routes in the world. ANI further spans 450 nautical miles in a roughly north to south configuration adjacent to the western entrance to the Malacca Strait, which is itself a major Indian Ocean choke point. Geopolitically, the ANI connects South Asia with Southeast Asia, while the northernmost point of the archipelago is only 22 nautical miles from Myanmar. The southernmost point, Indira Point, is a mere 90 nautical miles from Indonesia. The island dominate Bay of Bengal, the 6-degree and the 10-degree channels that more than 60,000 commercial vessels traverse each year. The Andaman and Nicobar Islands constitute just 0.2% of India's landmass but provide nearly 30% of its exclusive economic zone. What could be the opportunities in militarizing ANI? First, it is crucial for a robust Indo-Pacific strategy. As the geopolitical importance of the Indo-Pacific has been increasing, the Andaman and Nicobar Islands, located in the Bay of Bengal, have attained increased strategic significance. ANI could also become an important element of India's Act East policy of engaging with countries in the region east of India. Further, the Andaman and Nicobar chain of islands could be used as a basis for Indian maritime power projection into the Indo-Pacific and even beyond into the Southwest Pacific. Next, it is crucial for strategic and commercial advantages. The ANI could be used for India's third fleet, and the transshipment hub at Car Nicobar could potentially be a strategic game changer, rivaling the ports of Singapore or Colombo. Third, it is very important for strengthening Tri-Service Command. Now, changing nature of warfare in the 21st century has led to the expansion of scope of a tri-command service. As Andaman and Nicobar is the only tri-command structure in India, development of military infrastructure at the ANI is a key requirement in India's security strategy. What are the challenges involved in militarizing ANI? First, it may portray the image of Big Brother. When India first began developing the ANI in the mid 1980s, countries like Malaysia and Indonesia feared that India would use its military facilities in the ANI to dominate its region and project power east of Malacca. Hence, it is not uncommon for India to be vilified as a big brother by many of its neighbors in South Asia and Southeast Asia. Therefore, a section of India's diplomatic community has opposed militarizing the ANI, arguing that turning ANI into a strategic military garrison would militarize the littoral states and disrupt Indian Ocean as a zone of peace. Next, ecological and anthropogenic aspect. Military infrastructure projects could devastate the fragile economy of ANI. Already, many islands are facing significant damage from the climate crisis. Also, to establish a credible aerial and naval presence in the ethnographically extremely sensitive region presents complex challenges. Next, antagonizing China. While China's presence in the Indian Ocean is growing, it hasn't so far militarized Key Belt and Road Initiative outpost in Bay of Bengal, Hambantota Port in Sri Lanka, Chittagong in Bangladesh, and Kyaukphyu in Myanmar. If India pushes for greater military presence in the ANI, China could well seek military access in its friendly countries in Indian Ocean. Now, what could be the way forward? First important point is bandwagoning with the Quad. In order to counter China's expanding footprint in India's sphere of maritime interest, India must permit friendly foreign navies that are Quad members, France, etc., access to the ANI's military bases. The plan to integrate India's undersea sensor chain with the existing US Japan fishhook SOSUS network, which seeks to monitor submarine activity in the South China Sea and the Indian Ocean Rim, is a step in the right direction. Next important point is of a balanced development. Now, militarizing ANI will aid India's strategic capabilities, but such development should not come at the cost of the ruthless exploitation of biodiversity hotspot that is Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Thus, in conclusion, we can say that militarizing Andaman and Nicobar Islands is not a bad idea, but India must also take into account the downsides of such a move, and the final decision should be based on a dispassionate weighing of cost and benefit. And with this, I end my today's video. Thank you and take care.